Well, there you have it. Rassie Erasmus has announced his first official Springbok team of 2025 to take on Italy at Loftus Versfeld. And please, first and foremost, just ignore my hair. I know it's a bit all over the place. It is what it is, but we'll get into the game. And just look at who's on the front page. It's the return of the greatest player in the world, the sexiest man alive, Damian Willemse at fullback. And obviously, earlier this week, we spoke about you can't really look into the game against the Barbarians too much. Right, so that is a fair assumption, but obviously you look into it and it does make you excited of how do we carry that forward, playing against the likes of Italy, who's had a decent Six Nations. They had a good Autumn Nations at the end of last season, and they're a team that want to build. I know there's a couple of guys missing from that Italian team, but still, we got to go out there and we got to play some rugby. I want to see the structure. I want to see that the physicality mixed with the fluent backline that we saw against the Barbarians as well. So obviously against the Barbarians, we saw it. But you can't judge that because they're not that structured in defense necessarily. But now you're playing against a team that's played together, they've been coached together. They're probably coming down here to do a job on us, right? So that's what makes me very excited for this game, excited about this team, right? Because you look at the 1, 2, 3. You've got Ox the Steamroller in chair, Malcolm Marx, and then the South African player of the URC, Wilco Louw. Deserves his number 3 jersey. He's been brilliant for the Bulls. If you look at the second half scrummaging from the box against the Barbarians, you kind of want to see Wilco in there, right? Because I thought we lacked a bit of the physicality in that second half at the scrums. I don't know if you guys saw SA Rugby Mag. They spoke about it with the second half performance as well, maybe about the mauls as well. But Wilco Louw, instant impact, absolutely massive guy, deserves his shot in that 3 jersey. Then you're going into the locks. That is a sexy lock pairing. We haven't seen them in a while, but the combination of them, that's enough to make any guy's pants sit a bit tighter. You've got Eben Etzebeth, the most capped Springboks player ever, and then Loere Jager, who came back last weekend like he never left. He was absolutely sensational. So seeing those two in a combination for the first time again, probably the biggest lock pairing that you'll see, is massive for us. I'm very excited to see how they bounce off each other. They always had the great chemistry. We know Eben his chemistry with everyone is probably great, right? But you look at that lock pairing and then you look at who's on the bench and then you look at who's injured and who's not playing. We're fine when it comes to locks, right? Eben Etzebeth, Loere Jager takes that 4 and 5 jersey. Going into the 6, 7, 8, Marco van Staden gets his position back in that number 6 jersey. Still no captain rugby, captain South Africa, no Siya Kolisi. But Eskom, he did a job last weekend. It doesn't deserve to lose his place at all. I would have probably liked to have seen someone else, Ivan Roos. But yeah, I've got no qualms with Marco van Staden being there. Obviously, the fetcher on the field as well. I want him to do that dirty work though. I want him and Malcolm Marx to really get over that ball this time, because that's obviously what they're in the team to do when it comes to defensive work rate as well. Vincent Chichuka, captain, chief Vince Chichuka. He was sensational. I don't think you can really ask for a better debut. 2 tries, just everywhere, carried hard, defended well, line out general. And I've seen it when I posted the videos on TikTok and YouTube, like people couldn't compliment the performance of Vincent Chichuka enough. And I saw Egg Chaser speaking about it as well, that he's just a massive guy, right? Absolutely massive. If he continues on the form that he carried through the URC, takes it into the Bok jersey, I can see him being a regular in the team. It'll be interesting to see where he fits in when the likes of a Pieter Steff comes back. Let's say if Pieter Steff's fit, Siya Kolisi's fit, Jasper Wiese is fit, even when Cameron Hanekom at some point returns again, it's going to be interesting to see where you play Vincent Chichuka, especially if he has an extraordinary season in the green and gold. Because it's such a good problem to have, but it is a problem to have, right? So I'm very excited to see him go up against the likes of a Negri and those guys from Italy. And then obviously back from the dead in that number 8 jersey. Felt like we haven't seen him forever. Jasper Wiese takes that 8 jersey. Very excited to see him once again. He hasn't played for a good while, so it'll be interesting to see where his match fitness is. I like this thing that Rassie and the guys do, where it's like, okay, well, if he's been injured for a while, we'll start him, because you can always sub him off. It just makes more sense in my head, where if you had to bring on Jasper Wiese for 40 minutes, let's say you started with Kwagga Smith in that 8 jersey, and you brought Jasper off from the bench, and he struggles a lot, then you're kind of stuck in a rut, because you can't bring Kwagga back onto the field. But I'm very excited to see Jasper. I want to see some hard carries, as he always does, getting stuck in there. He's a bit of a, I wouldn't say he's got a discipline issue, but I like it from him. Like, he just gets a bit stuck in, does the nitty-gritty job, gets under your skin. He does concede a couple of penalties, but at some point you just need one of those guys, right? Because they always do the job at some other point. 9-10 combination, Mono van den Berg, who was a lot better last weekend than he was in his debut against Australia. I don't even think he was that bad against Australia on his debut. But the thing is, that was torrential rain. You can't really have a standout performance. I don't think anyone was in particular great in that Australian game. But he showed some class. He was quick at the breakdown last weekend. He just bounced off with Sasha very lovely in that 9 jersey. He gets another shot. Very excited for him. And then you've got the man that carries the nation's hopes on his back. Won us the World Cup in 2023. Handré Pollard goes back into that 10 jersey. Now, interesting enough, I actually thought we will see the combination of Faf de Klerk and Handré Pollard either starting or from the bench, and then we'll still see Sasha. So I am very surprised surrounding that. But overall, am I going to sit here and moan with the fact that we have Handré Pollard in that 10 jersey? No chance. He's absolutely brilliant. I want to see how he fits into how his pivot playing is with the new system that we're approaching. If we're going to play like we played last weekend, where we really attack with that backline, get the ball out wide, control the game through the 10, I really want to see how Handré Pollard does that, because obviously he's renowned for his kicking game and his physical and those type of things. But he's got that side to him where he can do this as well. And he plays a lovely brand of rugby for Leicester Tigers as well. He's the main guy there. He's been the main guy for us for a long time when it came to our physical gameplay. But now it's fitting into the new playmaking role that he'll probably be playing in that 10 jersey. So hopefully we stick with that game plan and not revert back to a kicking game plan. That's what I want to see. 12-13, somehow the best centre pairing in the world, but the most underrated centre pairing in the world. Damian de Allende, Jesse Kriel, don't need to say much about them. They're just generals on the field. Like, you don't even need to speak about them. You just know they did their job. It's rinse and repeat every single time we play. You just know they're not getting through that. Those guys, they don't miss tackles, and they'll be a threat on attack. And sneaky Damian de Allende loves a turnover as well. He gets stuck in at the breakdown, gets his hands in the ruck to get the turnover for us. So, yeah, they'll do their job. And then the scrum cap mafia. We spoke about the scrum cap mafia against the Barbarians, that they'll have a vital role to play in that game. And obviously, one of them got man of the match, and the other one was great. Right, the other one also went in for a couple of tries. So, Kurtley Arendse, Chesman Colby, once again, I want to see them getting that ball out wide. We saw when we got the ball to them, they are just so dangerous. So, just keep up with that game plan. Whatever we do, get the ball to them, and they'll cause some havoc. That's basically it, right? That secures you the victory. And then at 15, spoke about him right at the start. Damian Willemse takes that 15 jersey. Very excited to see him playing again for the Boks. Obviously, he didn't even get a single game last season. Did he get a single game? I don't think so. Last season, back in the green and gold. Absolutely beautiful. He's my number 15. I love Damian Willemse. I think he covers all the bases. He's got a good kicking game, very good attack, solid in defense. And I mean, the guy's bulked up, right? I spoke to a couple of people, and they say, like, he looks like he's bulked up to maybe even take on that inside center role from Damian de Allende. If we wanted to go with another playmaker, if you wanted to go Handré Pollard, Damian Willemse at 12, and then even like a Apelile Fassi in the future, or something like that, right? Which is a sexy thought. But Damian Willemse, he's my number 15. He just plays brilliant rugby. He suits the role perfectly. And there you go. That's the starting lineup. 6-2 split on the bench. Bongi Manambi makes his return. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Vincent Koch. Very surprised. Well, do you say very surprised? I really thought we'll see Thomas Tutoy. I think he's more deserving of anyone to get a game. But he'll probably be playing next weekend again, or at least against Georgia. Just with the form that he's been on. I mean, he's been player of the season for Bath 2 seasons in a row. Well, one of them was Prem player of the season. So I really thought we'll see him. I'm a bit upset that we don't get to see him. But, I mean, you look at the guys that's playing. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, the one for the future. Brilliant player. Sensational for the Bulls. Obviously, it's at his home ground, so you'll expect him to play. And then Vincent Koch, the tried and trusted, the guy that's always been there, always done it. Right, he's also sensational, so it's Vincent Koch. right? So, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword where I'm still happy with it. I just wanted to see Thomas du Toit. Look at the bench locks. I mentioned this earlier as well, where it's like, Evan Etzebeth and Lode Jager, that is a sexy pairing. Now imagine replacing them with Erge Snyman, who probably walks into any team, and Franco Mostert, who's probably the most underrated lock, one of the most underrated players in the world. I reckon we'll actually see a bit of Franco Mostert at Lucy. I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. And then just to round it off is the guy, the first name on the team sheet. Even though you go straight to the bench, you've got Kwagga Smith in that 21 jersey. And then just to round off the team, on the back line on the bench, you've got Faf de Klerk. So we'll see the pairing between Faf de Klerk and Andre at some point, and then Willie Leroux. I wouldn't be surprised if Faf comes on, let's say after about 45 minutes, replaces Morgan van den Berg. We see a bit of Andre Pollard and Faf de Klerk. Then Willie comes on, replacing Andre Pollard, and we've got Damian Willemse in that 10 jersey for a bit, and Willie at 15, which obviously puts Willie at, I think it's 99 caps then he's one away from the magical century from the 100. Fully deserves it. He's been a true, he's a spectacle to watch, right? Like, there's periods of the game where you'll be infuriated by Willie, and then there's other times that you're like, that could only be Willie that just did that, the assist king. So that wraps up the 23. I'm very excited to see us playing. Very excited to see the backline moving, to see the physicality of the boys. It's a strong team. I have to put 50 on them. Box by 50 over Italy. Not saying that to disrespect Italy, but it's our boys. We always back our boys. Hopefully the crowd comes out in numbers, supports the boys all the way through. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.